Now, I have not seen this video yet. I have not screened it. The issue is a lot of people in my Discord have the tendency to do something really fucking stupid that really pisses me off. They will, like, I'll make an announcement like, hey, I have no topics to cover on stream. Post them in stream suggestions. And then they start posting ContraPoints videos and videos by leftists that I agree with. Like, what the fuck? What do you want me to just sit here on stream and watch a video I already agree with and just sit there going, yeah, and that be my video for like the next 30 minutes? Come on, guys. Listen, if you're watching this right now and you've done that, what the fuck are you thinking? Come on, put videos I disagree with. So if that's what this ends up being, I'll be quite angry. Am I wearing an ICP necklace? No, this is a Witcher medallion. This is the School of the Wolf Witcher medallion. It's very annoying. Hey, Van Dyer, how you doing, my dude? All right, so Vosh is streaming, and he's stolen most of our viewers, so we're only 112 viewer Andy. But I have a video here for us. It is called TERFs Are Right. Now, before we get into this, they are not right. They're actually quite wrong, but this video is only 5 minutes and 39 seconds, so let's do it.
Say that, as a misogynist, I absolutely, fully support trans rights. TERFs, trans exclusionary radical feminists, are right. The current formulation of trans activism absolutely does damage women. And so it
doesn't in any way, shape, or form. Can you... Wait, can you guys hear him? Holy fuck. I can't stand this guy's voice. It sounds like he's speaking... It sounds like he took a bag of gravel and swallowed it, and he's talking through the gravel that is sort of congealed in his throat in a mixture of phlegm and mucus and spit. Just a ball of like driveway gravel he's just swallowed. Just, yeah, I know, he's already said as a misogynist. That could be ironic, maybe not. Okay, let's go.
Support it as a step towards the obsolescence of the female sex. By the way, for the
Wait. Women and females aren't the same thing. This is true scientifically.
duration of this video, I'm going to be speaking feministese, so don't be surprised to hear terms I wouldn't normally use.
Oh,
now,
no.
How does helping trans women hurt cis women?
It doesn't.
Well, it doesn't have to, but when your tagline is, trans women are women, full stop, you end up running into a few problems.
No, you don't.
The most obvious of which is that you start to lose the ability to speak freely about how oppression functions. A common argument for viewing trans women no differently to cis women is that patriarchy oppresses them because it views them as women. And so
no, in a way it can view them as women, which sucks, but also the fact that they're trans, I would argue, means they're more oppressed than the average woman. I would actually argue that the average trans person, trans dude, NB, trans woman, anything like that, way more oppressed than the average woman. That doesn't mean the average woman has it very good. They don't. They're considered a social minority for a reason. But I would say trans people, especially trans women, are both affected by the patriarchy and transphobia. So they have it worse.
Their oppression is the same, with trans women having trans oppression on top of that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But this isn't quite right.
Yes, it is.
Let's say I sent in a job application and wrote that my name is Tyrone. It then came out somehow, maybe a leak, some investigation, that my application was discarded and I was not invited to an interview purely because it was assumed I was black.
Yes, this happens, actually. There's a very good 2x speed. Should I? It's only 5 minutes, guys. This is actually true. I know this guy probably doesn't believe in this kind of shit because he's like a reactionary and an anti-SJW person. But this has actually been found to be true. There was a study that was done. It's like referenced quite often. There was a study where they sent in a bunch of applications for jobs, or it was like applications to a college, and they found that it's like really disproportionate. More often than not, people with black sounding names were turned down way more than people with white sounding names. So a Kyle was way more likely to get accepted than a Tyrone. Like, 99% of the time. It was actually fucking insane.
Am I then black? No, of course not. It's a misfire of bias against people of African descent, of which I am not one. I'm sure right now, trans women or women supporters are already typing that gender and sex are different, preemptively thinking
They are?
about counters to a parallel example they're expecting where I say my name is Shelley and am then rejected because I'm falsely assumed to be a woman. Maybe saying that, unlike being black, which is typically defined by what you are, being a woman is about what you feel. And so there's a difference between the...
Well, no, it's not necessarily how you feel. This is already a straw man. This is already very reducting the whole argument here. Being a woman is identifying as a woman. Simple as that. Hey, we got a Destiny fan in chat. Nice. See that Nathan W right there. Love to see it. So this is disappointing to me because I was hoping that this would be like, I was hoping that I would have like the best of TERF arguments here, because TERFs are wrong, but there are ways to argue from the TERF mindset and it's be a somewhat valid argument in some universe. I feel like a skilled enough debater that's a TERF could do that, but I've never encountered one. So it's funny how this reactionary anti-SJW YouTuber is putting out this video where he's trying to take the feminist stance against trans women and failing miserably at it. Because we're already almost halfway through this video. He has not made a single point I'm not able to debunk. Not even, he's saying a lot of words, but none of them make any sense. I also can barely understand what he's saying, because it sounds like he's listen, I hate my voice. My voice is not great, but holy shit. Can you not speak through, a fucking voice filter? Or can you, maybe drink a little, hot tea before you stream to loosen up those vocal cords? I can't even understand you. You sound like a text-to-voice fucking, text reader.
The two examples, i.e., while having pale skin excludes the possibility of me being black, having a masculine body, a penis, sperm, XY chromosomes, doesn't exclude the possibility of me being a woman. However,
true.
When patriarchy targets women, it's not trying to target people who feel like they're a woman. Even if you accept that sex and gender are different, all that means is that you then must also recognize that patriarchy isn't selecting based on gender, but sex when it's trying to keep women down.
Nope. No. Not true. Very bad take. Not true. So, okay. So there's sort of, this is a complicated issue, all right? And I'm going to get canceled for some of my terminology here, I guarantee it. So we're speaking specifically about trans women here, right? And we're also speaking about trans men. And actually, no, even NBs. Okay, so let's say we have a trans dude who doesn't quite pass in his current state. You have a trans woman who is passing, and you have an NB who is feminine presenting, all right? These three groups will be perceived as women by society for the most part. They will, and this is what they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because they'll either be perceived as women and then have to deal with patriarchy, or not be perceived as women and have to deal with transphobia, or both. They have it worse. When we talk about women, women are targeted because they're women for the most part, because of these stereotypes around women. Many of them do stem, a lot of the stereotypes and views that we have of women do probably originate from biology, like the idea, women are weaker and they act a certain way, right? But even the way that women, even part of that isn't biological. Women acting a certain way isn't biological. Most trans women that I know, especially the true scummy ones, they tend to say that you have to change your attitude if you want to be valid as a trans woman. This is something I disagree with, but I do think that if you want to make this argument, it's still valid here. A lot of true scummy trans women will get really angry at trans women that get caught on video doing fuck. You know that one video of the trans lady in the GameStop saying "it's ma'am" that's like thrown around by the alt-right a lot? A lot of trans women, like True Scum, will point to that video and be like, well, it's her fault that they weren't perceiving her as a woman. If she wasn't so in their face and so standoffish and so aggressive, maybe they would see her as a woman. But she's acting like a man, so how can you blame them? The Blair White take, yeah. So even when it comes to attitude, society sees what it is to be a woman not as your biological body, but how you look and how you act. That is what it means to be a woman. And if you are able to do those things and society perceives you as a woman, you'll have to deal with misogyny. You'll have to deal with the patriarchy. Now, simple as that. By the way, I do not advocate for the whole, if you want people to accept you as a trans woman, you should act more like a woman, not be standoffish. Like, I honestly don't think, like, there's plenty of cis women that are like confrontational and whatnot. Like, holy shit. Listen, I don't want to shit talk my family too much, but if my mom was a trans woman, you'd be hearing the same kind of shit about her from True Scums. Because she acts very confrontational, and she's very mean, and she's very loud. All right, let's continue.
I'd repeated that experiment, used a feminine name, and was discriminated against because they assumed I was a woman, they would not be rejecting me because of my gender identity. They would be biased against me because of assumptions about people who are born as girls and because of my assumed female biology. For instance...
Wait, okay. No, I'm gonna let him finish.
Maybe they'd consider the possibility that I might get pregnant. When all the powerful bigots you hate say trans women are not women, why don't you just listen to them when the...
Wait, what? Okay, for starters, there is a possibility... Alright, so here's the issue. He's using the example of looking at a job application right now. Alright? So, I'm pretty sure if a trans woman hands in a job application and they have Samantha written on there, they've, turned in the job application, maybe they pass very well too, like you look at them and you're like, oh, it's just a woman, like I don't know what to tell you. Like no one can tell they're a trans woman. They're going to be discriminated against as a woman. They're going to be like, yeah, maybe she'll get pregnant. I mean, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to discriminate that way, but employers fucking do. They do that shit. So even in this example, it doesn't work. This example doesn't work even in his mind. It just doesn't work because we're talking about looking at names, and some trans women, you can't tell they're trans women because they pass so well. Like Blair White doesn't look like a trans woman, I guess that sounds stereotypical, but like she just looks like a cis woman. She's very well passing. If she applied for a job, well, she would probably not get hired because she's got a bad attitude. But if she got hired for a job, or if she applied for a job, she would be discriminated against as a woman. This is way more... It's way more simple... It's way more complicated than it being as simple as, oh, it's biology. That's not where misogyny comes from. It's not a negative attitude towards people who happen to have two X chromosomes, boobs, and a vagina. I'm pretty sure there's more to it than that. I just throwing out the idea. It might be more to it than that. Actually, no. Patriarchy is rooted in misogyny. So what do a lot of misogynists say when they shit talk women? Let's just go through it really quick. What do they say when they shit talk women? Do they talk about how... Many times they'll talk about their bodies, but they talk about their bodies usually in a positive way. It's misogynistic, but they talk about their bodies in a positive way. Like, oh man, she's got such a nice ass. She has such big boobs, man. Yeah, shit like that, right? But when anything else, they usually talk about their attitude, how they act. Like, God damn it, Karen is such a stupid bitch. God, she's always nagging at me. She's always fucking hell. Man, women just need to stay in the kitchen and do their fucking job. Why are they trying to go out and tell me what to do? Like, yeah, materialistic shit, bitchy, yeah, stuff like that, right? That's the kind of shit that you hear from misogynists You don't hear them talking about or saying negative things about their bodies, their biology. You hear them talking about how they act, how they present themselves, what they wear. Oh, yeah. Hey, how about if she didn't want to get raped, she shouldn't have worn something so revealing. If she didn't want to get raped, she shouldn't have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. They don't talk about their bodies. They talk about what they wear, how they act, what they do, how they behave. Even how, if they're smiling or not. Like, you should smile more, honey. You look way more pretty. Yeah, listen. Based and bread-pilled.
Oppressor tells you how they function, giving away what's behind their actions, giving you a vital insight into how this all works. Why do you ignore it? Let's use another example.
Wait, well, because just saying trans women aren't women it's transphobic. You're just saying trans women aren't women just to be a transphobic piece of shit. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Previously, I used the idea of something where bias can sting you, even if the person acting against you is mistaken. How about something where no trans woman can actually fall victim to the consequences of patriarchy, even if they are targeted? Society grooms girls to become mothers at the expense of their future prospects and health. If the world hypnotizes a woman into thinking she has to be a trad wife and pump out kids...
I'm pretty sure you're one of those people who would say that, but continue.
What's the consequence and what's the goal of patriarchy? To get her to settle down and get pregnant instead of doing anything else. But even if these expectations are placed on a trans woman because society sees her as a woman, she can never be pushed into what patriarchy's pushing her into.
Not true. She may not be able to get pregnant yet. All right, yet. However, she can be pushed into doing things like adopting or just taking up a housewife role. You don't have to have kids to be a trad wife. Guess what? You can be a trans woman and be a trad wife. You can totally do it. You can stay at home all day barefoot, doing dishes and cooking for your husband before he gets home. You can do that. I mean, we're talking like the trad wife meme here, but that's literally possible. You don't have to be, it's not trad mom, it's trad wife. It's not specific to having children. They usually like to push it, but trust me, listen, the patriarchy is very, very versatile. It's not, it'll find a way to oppress women of all kind, no matter their biology. Now, we'll use the same argument right now. Does that mean that women who are sterile aren't women? Are women who are sterile unable to have children and unable to have children? Are they not affected by the patriarchy then? Because they aren't affected by the propaganda from the patriarchy telling them that they need to get married and have kids or too old to have kids. True. Are those women not affected by the patriarchy then? Oof. Because there's quite a few women who aren't able to have children. I would actually argue that like a significant portion of women, for whatever reason, may it just be age, may it be because they're trans, could it be because they're sterile, from anything like that, can't have children. And that doesn't make them any less women. It doesn't make them any less be affected by the patriarchy. Same goes for trans women.
He is immune to the strategy and its intended outcome.
Nope.
This axis of oppression taking aim at trans women is clearly a mistake. Oh, so would you say infertile women are less of a woman then?
Ooh, he acknowledges it.
But patriarchy certainly views them that way. And yet...
Wait, then what's the difference? If patriarchy views a trans woman who can't have children the same way... If the patriarchy views a cis woman who can't have children the same way as a cis woman who can have children, then why would the patriarchy perceive a trans woman who can't have children differently? There's literally no reason.
Despite knowing your enemy being so important in any conflict, you're not supposed to talk about it. Trans women are women. Full stop. In the intersectional system, they are both women and trans. And this means including anything in the woman category of intersecting oppressions that cannot apply to trans women is transphobic. You can't get around that by saying a unique oppression arises out of the intersection between being a woman and being cis, because cis people aren't oppressed. Women, as...
Okay. Well, yes, they are. Cis people are oppressed. Black cis people are oppressed because they're black. Cis women are oppressed because they're women. Trans women are oppressed because they're trans and because some of them are women. All right. So he's making like a shit ton of dumb arguments here. I don't even know where to start. Okay. So he's pretending like the patriarchy or patriarchal beliefs or expectations, misogyny, things like that, are like a creature, right? Like a being, a being that is self-aware and has the ability to think and act. That's not what the patriarchy is. It doesn't discriminate against women who can give birth, women who can't give birth, trans women, cis women. It doesn't do that. That's not how the patriarchy works. The patriarchy is a structure of systems that are built by misogynists and have misogynistic effects. It affects anyone that society perceives as a woman. It affects cis women. It affects trans women. And even for trans dudes that don't pass very well, it can affect them too, which I imagine has to be a fucking nightmare. Can't even imagine that. That's got to be like the fucking worst. So I don't know why he's acting like the patriarchy is like a person. Like, can I speak to like the CEO of the patriarchy is sitting at his desk and he's like sorting through a piece of paper with with a picture and like a bio of every woman on earth, and he like takes the paper and he's like, Jessica Stevens, 23 years old, cis woman, can have children. Yep, this one gets affected by the patriarchy, and like stamps it and then puts it in the patriarchy pile, and then takes another one. He looks at it and he says, Natalie Wynn. Let's see, 20. I don't know how old Natalie Wynn is. 31. Is she like in her 30s? 31 years old. I'm gonna take a wild guess. 31 years old. Oh, no, she's a trans woman, can't be affected by the patriarchy. Stamp, not affected by the patriarchy. Boom. Because guess what? I guarantee ContraPoints is affected by the patriarchy. Let's be honest. I'm pretty sure she is. She is perceived by society as a woman. Oh, you're a feminist, name every woman? Good, ma'am. All right, let's finish up this video. This brain cancer of a video.
Patriarchy sees them and actively tries to subjugate, despite being the most oppressed single category of person since the start of time, and the reason both patriarchy and feminism even exist now don't exist as a uniquely oppressed group to defend in the eyes of feminists. And so, they won't be defended. Which is just
so
the
dramatic?
way I want it.
Yeah, there he goes.
But, as usual...
There he goes. Mask off right at the end there. Mask off right at the end. You love to see it. Yeah, this dude's probably like a hardcore reactionary. Hey, harmful opinions. If you ever want to debate, let me know. Let me know. Oh, he's been banned a lot, it seems like. People are commenting, can't wait for this channel to get banned too. Here, let's see who he's subbed to. I kind of want to see what his,
I already don't...
I kind of want to see what his community... Nope. I can't see it. Channels, maybe? Nope, his subs aren't public. Tough to see. My favorite thing ever is when when some asshole comments on one of my videos and I click on their account and I go to their channels and they're subbed to like Stefan Molyneux and ER and just a line of white nationalists and Nazis. That's the good meme. All right, well, in conclusion, TERFs have once again, or someone advocating for what TERFs believe, I suppose, a reactionary advocating for what TERFs believe. I should clarify right now, TERFs are not feminists. They are not feminists. They are reactionaries, they are transphobes, and they are conservatives who are appropriating feminist rhetoric and feminist labels in order to build themselves a shield as they attack trans people. That's all they are. They are not feminists. Simple as that. TERFs get the Nerf dart in Minecraft, in PUBG, in Fortnite.